Hey guys, today is day 14 of Vlogmas, and this is going to be a little bit different video. This is going to be a story time about what happened yesterday. Several people were checking on me after they saw my snaps and my tweets about the eventful evening. So, I've never done a story time on my channel, so if I'm doing this wrong, I'm sorry. But, alright, so here's just a little bit of a background of what happened. So, the house next door to me has been abandoned the entire 2 years that I've lived here. And in those 2 years, twice, I have seen what appeared to be a homeless man standing out in front in the middle of the yard in front of the door with like a sleeping bag and a couple of other bags laying on the ground around him. Both times he was in the exact same spot with the same amount of stuff. But this was earlier in the year and then once last year. And both times it was in the middle of the afternoon. I was headed to my part-time job, so it really just wasn't that ominous. And, you know, really didn't think too much about it. It was kind of weird. And then a while back when my dad was over here, we actually scoped out the back of the house. You know, we like walked in and walked over, looked in the windows, and you could see that there was trash everywhere. There was empty water jugs. There was open like cans of food, wrappers, just trash everywhere. It looked like somebody was squatting in the house. Now, it has come to my attention that not everybody knows what the word squatter means. So, I'm going to post up the definition right here. Alright, now that we all know what a squatter is. So, after talking with my family about it, we decided that the next time anything happened, I would contact the police. Now, as a single female, I don't need creepy people being that close to my house. There is, from my carport door, there is less than 50 yards to the house next door. So, I don't need some strange, creepy person squatting over there in the middle of the night when I'm over here by myself. I don't know what they're doing during the day when my dog is in the backyard. It's just not something I was comfortable with. But it hasn't happened for a really long time. The other piece of information that's pertinent is there is a ladder in the backyard of the house next door. And you can see it on the ground here. Now, this ladder has moved periodically. It was over here on this side of the house for a couple months. Then it moved to the other side. Then it was back behind the air conditioner. And then that brings us to yesterday evening about 4:30. I'm outside. I was cleaning out my car, getting some stuff out. And all of a sudden I hear this big bang. So I go and I like ease back around like, okay, I thought I was out here by myself. Clearly I'm not. So I see this ladder is flat on the ground, which is not where it was. I had just been to the back to check on the dog and the ladder was not on the ground. So sure enough, that's what happened is the ladder fell. Now, the ladder's on the ground perpendicular to the window and the window is pushed all the way up. It's pushed all the way up and the little cord is dangling and floating around. The window wasn't always pushed up. So now my spidey senses are tingling and I'm starting to freak out. Like, okay, what's going on? It's getting close to 5 o'clock. It's getting dark. I'm out here by myself. Okay, I'm getting nervous. So I go inside and I call them. I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. I talked to my dad. We decide I'm going to call the police, just have somebody come and check it out. Now, I'm thinking they're going to use some stealth capabilities and check this out and not leave me hanging wide open for a target. That was clearly too much to ask. Clearly too much. So I called the Pearl Police Department. And I said, I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to, but I think I need to report a squatter in an abandoned house next to me. She transfers me to someone else. I tell her the exact same thing. Y'all, this girl did not know what the word squatter meant. She was like, a squatter? What's that? How you gonna answer the phone for the police department and not know what the word squatter means? Am I crazy? Is this not what we call people who stay in abandoned places that they don't own? I don't feel like this is out of character. I don't feel like this is a weird word. I feel like everybody should know what the word squatter means. If you don't, now you do. So she goes, well, I'm just going to send an officer to your house. Why are you sending him to my house? I didn't do anything. I can already tell this is not going to go like it's supposed to. 5-10 minutes passes. I start keeping an eye out for the police officer. I'm going to try and cut him off so that they don't go to my carport, which again is less than 25 feet away from this house. I'm hoping they're going to come to the front door. Bless his handsome little heart. He was adorable. He parks dead in front of my front door, in front of my yard. There is nowhere else he is at besides my house. Leaves the car running, everything, and I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm trying to catch him at the front door. He goes around to the carport. Now, let me just paint this. The window is open on this house. The light on my carport is on, and the police officer is standing there talking to me while he is parked outside of my house. We're super stealth right now, okay? Super stealth. So he's perfectly nice about it. He says, okay, I'm going to go check it out. So I leave my screen door on my carport open, but my main door, closed, but my main door open so I can hear what's going on. So it's really quiet for about 5 minutes. So I start thinking, okay, did he leave? He didn't find anything and he left. Then all of a sudden I hear, Pearl PD, put your hands up. Oh no, this is serious. Yo, my heart starts racing. So I start edging closer to the door, like freaking out. I don't know if it's gunshots. I don't know if he's banging on a window. I don't know what's happening. I look out. I see the policeman running around the side of the house with his arms extended out, holding his gun. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so some of you have heard me talk about the fact that I think that there's oh, Jesus. At this point, I'm thinking that was gunshots that I heard. Because the front door is on this side. I saw the police officer over here. So he couldn't have been banging on the door and me hear that from where I was standing. Next, y'all, I have never locked my door so quick. I slammed the kitchen door, deadbolted it, made sure all the other windows and everything were closed. With nobody running up in my house in the middle of a police chase. Nuh-uh, no, sir, no, ma'am. Not happening, not today. I am crouched behind my couch on the phone with my dad, freaking out. I'm never listening to you again. This is not what I wanted to happen. I just wanted someone to come and check it out. It not be a big deal. Now, I think they're firing on people. They're parked in front of my house. There's a police chase going on. It's pitch black in my yard, okay? If there's not a spotlight or a backlight on back there, you can't see anything. I'm like trying to peek out the window to see if I can see figures moving. I don't know if anybody's on the ground. I don't know what's going on. The next 30 minutes are mayhem. Guys, I called the police department because I thought I had a squatter next door. I'm pretty sure I heard shots and him scream, Pearl Police Department. There's now 5 cop cars in front of my house, a fire truck. The rescue workers just showed up. I walked outside my front door. I saw the cop with one of those big, huge, long rifles. I'm having a panic attack, guys. Did I just get... Jesus Christ. 5 cop cars show up. 5. Y'all, the street is not that long. And then the fire truck, they've got the sirens on. They've got the spotlights going. Firefighters are getting out. Everybody's walking across my yard. So I'm standing in the carport watching. At this point, the neighbors have come out. So next thing I know, 3 plainclothes firemen are walking in my carport looking at me like, where are we supposed to go? And I'm looking at them like, what are you doing here? I said, do you know, was there someone over there? And he goes, oh, is this not where we're supposed to be? Y'all, the firemen don't know what's going on. They think the call is from my house because that's what the dispatcher told them. I tell the 3 firemen, okay, no, I called because I think there's a squatter next door. All this stuff happened. I don't know what's going on. So they march over there. I walk to my front door and look out, and y'all, no joke, there is a cop on the stoop holding one of these big rifle shotguns. I do not know gun terminology. I don't own a gun. I don't use a gun. I don't know. And I'm thinking, geez, Louise, what is happening? I still can't see the perpetrator. I still can't see if there was actually someone over there or not. But something must be going on because half of the Pearl Police Department is here. Something's got to be happening. First chance I get, I sprint across my yard to my neighbor's house because by now they're all standing outside. This is where things take a turn. This is where the story gets interesting. So I approach my neighbors And one of the kids says, "Do you know what's going on?" "Yeah, I know what's going on." "Do you know what's going on?" So I tell them, what happened, what I reported. They tell me that the person who lived in the house before them, which was my neighbor when I first bought my house, says that the guy owns the place. I'm sorry, what? Owns the place? There's no light, there's no water, there's no nothing turned on at this house, okay? And he owns the place? Apparently, he comes 2 or 3 times a year, stays a night or two with no amenities, no utilities, no nothing. A taxi drops him off and picks him up. Now, if that ain't the weirdest story I've ever heard, it gets weirder. As they're telling me all this, the ambulance pulls up. Y'all, for 5 solid minutes, I thought I called the police on the owner of the house. They fired on him for being in his own home. Like, something like this would only happen to someone like me, okay? So I'm having a full-on panic attack that I have gotten someone shot at for being in their own home. Come over and talk to me, and he said, "I didn't want to leave you in the dark. I just wanted to let you know what happened." He said, "We're getting a story from this guy that doesn't make a lot of sense. He doesn't seem like he's all there, and we don't have a way to fact check any of this." He says that he works all the time. Most of the time he gets a hotel, but sometimes he comes and stays here with no electricity, no water, no anything. They can't prove that. He says that he owns the house. He doesn't have any form of identification to prove that he owns the house. So we're not really sure what to do with him. We've told him that he needs to just leave the premises for the night and find a hotel. So I'm thinking, okay, great. I am that neighbor. He's like, we don't have a way to prove any of this, so I'm not sure, what they're going to do with him. So then 10 minutes later, the original police officer comes back inside. He asked me to, to give my statement so that they can make a report. He said, "You would not believe the condition of this house. There are holes in the ceiling where the insulation is falling down. No running water, so you can imagine what he's using for a bathroom. Rodents," he says, "it's just deplorable conditions, and that if the ordinance get a hold of it, then they can they can condemn it and tear it down. It's that bad." He said that they found some bank papers. It looks like maybe the bank foreclosed on the house. If that's the case, then the guy is technically trespassing. No, the guy is technically burglarizing the premises once he breaks the plane of the house and enters the dwelling. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It was a long night, guys. It was a long night. It was a stressful night. Got a little bit rowdy here in the neighborhood, and that's the story of how I called the cops on my neighbors. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. Your girl needs some help. It's been a long week. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.